Alright guys, just jumping in here at the start of the video again. Want to remind you to subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about getting this engine mocked up in here today, and so that way we know where we're at and what we're going to need in the near future when we make the engine mounts and stuff for it. So let's get into today's video. Alright guys, welcome back. So got the transmission over here. Dad finished getting it all cleaned up. Don't mind the non-matching nuts. We've got to get another matching one for that. But about ready to lift this up and put it on my cart. And we got some goodies over here. Got the trans cross member in. Haven't even opened it yet. Well, just the flat, but also got a 4-point cage coming for it. And the rebuild kit for the rear end as well. And today I got to run and go pick up some mock-up bolts from the shop so we can get all this stuff bolted together and kind of snake it down in there and see what we're working with. So I want to get this transmission lifted up on the cart and probably go get some of those bolts so we can get started on this. All right, I'm back from getting some bolts that we need. And first on the list, going to be getting this old brake line out of here and getting these old biscuit engine mounts out and get that split fitting out as well. So that way, anything that's basically going to be in our way to set this stuff down in there is got to come out. So let's get on that. Cross member I mentioned. We'll go ahead and pop this thing out and see what we got. There's our side mount brackets that'll come off the frame. Hardware kit. Looks like a pretty nice piece.
Is that like you put on the red one?
Yeah, this is like we did. If you guys go back and watch our previous videos, it was painted black already, but this is pretty similar to the one that we put in the red car that we have on our playlist, and I'll probably try to remember to put that playlist at the end of this video. But this one's really similar. Really nice piece, so we should be able to start getting everything mocked up. And yep, this is from Speedway, so I think those things are like $100, and it's well worth every penny to be able to kind of mount one up exactly where you want it and with very minimal fabrication whatsoever. You can pretty much bolt this stuff in if you want. Put it over on top of the machinist box if you want. All right, as you do what? Yep. Oh, as you can see, we got it all bolted together. And then I know I didn't show this in the video, but this is a Lakewood scatterproof Pontiac, or I guess BOP bell housing my dad picked up at Norwalk a few years ago. And got the M22 all bolted up to it, so now we'll be ready to drop her down in there and see where everything's gonna go. All right, we got it all set down in there. Got some wood up here just kind of holding the front. Then we got a jack stand holding the trans. And the engine's just off to the passenger side a little bit. So we're gonna get the weight up off of it and just scoot it over just a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm doing here is the head was hitting that portion of the firewall. So I basically had to go in and notch us out a hole so that way we could get the engine to sit over towards the driver's side where we needed it. All right, so now we got that opened up. We'll get the engine pushed back where we want it, get it centered because that lug on the head right there should fit into our nice little window we made. So we'll get that scooted over where we need it, and then I'll be able to go from the inside and, you know, make a nice little dimpled panel to fit that, and we'll fill that hole back in. So now we'll get this straightened back up and set back where it's supposed to. Okay, we got everything sitting in there pretty good so far. Haven't got our trans mount, the actual trans mount in yet, so I can't go any further with the cross member just yet, but we got it sitting in there. I don't have the intake perfectly level yet. It's close. The only reason I'm not going any further is, for one, like I just said, need that trans mount. And we were gonna run and make a fender well exit set of headers, but we want to retain the factory steering box, and as you can tell, that's not happening. I'm not going through and getting that crazy with making headers. My dad's actually got a set of original Ram Air 1 factory cast headers, which are pretty cool, and they should fit, they will fit no problem. And then I think what we're thinking is the collector will dump out, I think they come somewhere right in here by the bell housing, and then I'll make some cool pipes that come over here and then dump out like that and paint them white. And that's just an idea right now. So what I was getting at is why I don't have it perfectly level and whatnot is we're gonna pull this back out and heat up all these bolts and get these stock manifolds off so we can put those factory headers on and see where they're gonna sit, and then we'll finalize everything. And I got my hole cut back there for the head and the valve cover edge, so that's good. I do need to come down just a little bit more on the bottom side, and then I'll make a recessed piece to weld in there. But at least got our hillbilly wood set up underneath the balancer and pan to get her where we want. But all the weight's on it, and it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna kind of clean up for now and wait until we get that trans mount and go from there. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Kind of anticlimactic that we didn't get to go any further, but we forgot we didn't have that trans mount like I mentioned before. And we're gonna do our own style engine mounts with it, being that obviously a Tri-5 isn't made for a Pontiac. So probably in the next video, we're going to address the engine mount situation and get that trans mount deal in, as well as the factory headers. So, but we're pretty happy with how everything went so far. The steering box is a little bit close to the manifold on the other side, but not too bad. That was our biggest. That was my biggest concern, because I've fit a big block down in one of these before, if you go back and watch our previous videos. And other than that steering box, we got plenty of room everywhere. Everything sits just about where we want it. Plenty of room to get to everything. We could go back, we can't go back a little further because of the driver's firewall, but I think it's sitting just about perfect where it's at for what we want. And yeah, we're pretty happy with it. So the next one ought to be a little bit more exciting, getting the engine mounts made and in and having everything sit exactly where we want it. But as for now, it's sitting under its own weight. That way, like I said, we can see where we want everything when we officially go to make those engine mounts and whatnot. But before we go, we did pick up new pin kit. This is just one of them. The other one's in the car. So has a nice chrome circles that go around, you know, the pins when you shut it. These ought to be pretty nice. So in the next one, you'll see me get these new pin sets mounted as well. So these ought to look pretty nice and it'll be pretty cool. So if any of you guys are looking to do these, I can give you an idea on how we're doing them versus, you know, getting a smaller set like that's in it there. So as for that, I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. So stay tuned for the next one. Ought to be hopefully a little bit more exciting, doing the pins and engine mounts and the trans mount. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.